Welcome to the Toms River Show. Pat ONeill here. You are Toms River residents where we do this show. I'm on the Toms River set, but it's been kind of moved around because you've already seen the debate, but we're getting ready to do the debate. It was May the 30th, 6:30. Hopefully it went well because I'm taping this before we do the live show. We had to reposition everything in the studio. We got the podium set up, some flags. I think we'll put another flag in there. Got to bring down some stools for the candidates. But we're pretty much there. I know Chris Lundy put an ad on the website. I'm going to do some press releases. Hopefully it was a good show, and we'll show you some clips. And I'll probably do some sort of a review of that live show. But for right now, let's get this show going. Live stream, download the app. This way you can watch our shows, you review our shows, we archive them there. You got, of course, the website, HMG TV show. It's all on the bottom of the screen here. And by now, we may be on NJ on the Air, another platform for us. We're on Comcast Cable and YouTube and live stream and all. Opening the show, I don't want to get too much into Toms River stuff because I don't know the results of this debate. So kind of looking at a statewide level here. One of the things that are occurring, I got my Flash shirt on. You know why? Because it is summer in Seaside Heights. Good Memorial Day weekend. The weather cooperated. I was kidding Mayor Boz here. Since he's been the mayor, we have not had good weather. I guess the curse of Mayor Boz is over. I think it was a very successful Memorial Day weekend for Seaside Heights. And I just want to show you guys that I got my summer groove on here, even though it's not summer yet, but it's like on Memorial Day, it was like 80 degrees. The Saturday was pretty warm, too. I'm going to talk about it later in the show, but we got the medical marijuana and expungement going. But if you look into the details of the medical marijuana, we're going to tax it. Also, pain medication, opioids, or whatever pain medications there are. It's the devil in the details, and Senator Doherty out of Warren County pointed this out. Said, they're going to tax the medical marijuana. And people are making choices already. You remember you used to hear like the seniors, they had to make a choice, they eat or have the medicines, or they're self-medicating, cutting pills in half, that sort of thing. They'd buy cat food because they couldn't afford their medicine. The last thing we need to do is put a sales tax on or any other kind of tax on prescription medication. And the idea, as it's explained to me, the reason was, we can control the misuse of opioids or painkillers by taxing it. Listen, the illegal, the people who are selling this black market or illegally or they're making their own drugs up, they're not worried about the taxation. The only one we're hurting by taxing it is the people who are illegally getting prescribed. And they'll always bring up this Dr. Quack somewhere, who, he was really prescribing a lot of opioids. I just had a bunch of dental work going. Ocean Dental's doing the work for me. I was at Ocean Coastal Dental, getting a lot of dental work done and oral surgery. And they gave me opioids for that, painkillers, which never work on me. As I learned from my many rib breakings, pain pills don't work for me. They're not just throwing these things around. Now, like I said, you may have Dr. Quack somewhere that does this. But taxing pain medication is only hurting the people who are in pain. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Toms River Show. I'll be right back. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. It takes more than a state-of-the-art medical facility to make a great hospital. It takes a team of dedicated medical professionals. That's the Jersey City Medical Center, Hudson County's #1 hospital. Medical teams consisting of New Jersey's top doctors, Magnet Award-winning nurses, and accomplished hospital associates, all committed to your good health. That's what you have at the Jersey City Medical Center. Make Hudson County's #1 hospital your first choice. Visit us on the web at barnabashealth.org. We're back. You're watching Pat O'Neill. You're watching the Toms River Show. I'm watching you. I'd say I'd get that, what was that, Wonder Room? You said the thing you can see everybody. It wasn't real, but we believed it as kids. The state may shut down on July 1st over the standoff between the Senate, the Assembly, and Governor Murphy over the millionaire tax. I've said this before about the millionaire. To me, it's class warfare. And it's almost every day we talk about a new tax. You know, as I was growing up, not even growing up, I mean, just a few years ago, if you talked about raising taxes or a new tax, you know, it looked like a Frankenstein movie. The villagers are out there with torches. Obviously, it's changing. But I don't know if it's going to be changing for long. Now, if Murphy doesn't get his way on the millionaire's tax, he is threatening to close down the state. Now, actually, recently we had the federal government closed down. Did you really notice the government was closed down? Now, last time the state closed down, the only thing most people noticed because of the shutdown was there was no lottery. And that was driving people absolutely insane. There was no lottery. No pick 3, pick 4, pick 6, that sort of thing. That's the only thing people noticed for the most part, the last time the state shut down. And like I said, we just went through a shutdown federally. And really, did it affect you? And, you know, I tell you what, when we go into these shutdowns, it does affect you because we're losing income coming in, and then we wind up paying the people who we locked out of work because we shut down. So it really isn't the best way to do things. But what this is becoming with this millionaire tax, and I said this before, and I'm no millionaire, I'm a hundredaire. This is really class shaming, whatever they call that now. You know, if you went to school, your parents made you go to school, and you got an education, or you went to a trade school and you learned how to do plumbing or welding or sheet metal, whatever. You know, you acquired a skill that, you know, nobody went by and hit you with a magic wand. You acquired that skill through work. You know, you were an investor. Now, not all investors are successful. Yeah, you took the risk of going into business, which is super risky. You know, more than, I think it's something like 2/3 of new businesses close in the first few years. It is incredibly difficult to be in business. There are so many, especially in New Jersey, there are so many factors that make it difficult to be in business. You know, your family gave you good guidance. Your mom and your father were successful, and that, you know, and that gave you an upper hand because of the work and diligence of your parents. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong. Well, his family's successful. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, maybe you just flat out worked your butt off to get where you are. Yeah, you started that business. You were driving that truck. You opened the restaurant. Whatever you did. You know, you went to medical school. You had your kids go to medical school. They're a doctor. They're a PhD. They're a lawyer. Whatever the case, an accountant. Whatever it is. They put in the time. They put in the effort. They put in the dedication. And now they get penalized because they may be successful. And if they're successful enough, as we all wish our children are, to be millionaires and successful and carefree and live a good, positive life without all the drama, you know, most of us went through. You know, you always want to make it better for your kids. And we're going to penalize people for that because they're successful and others aren't. And the idea is, well, let's penalize these successful people to help the people below them. And then they start throwing out the property tax. Listen, I haven't heard anybody talk about anything to reduce property taxes in the state of New Jersey in the last 2 years. Whatever new revenue was coming in, I've never heard any of it dedicated to reducing property taxes. We had tax on this, tax on that, tax on this, but never once. Now the millionaire's tax, well, we need to do this to reduce the property taxes for the middle class. That's the problem. I'm hurting one class to help another. Now listen, you know, anytime you're in favor of taxing someone, then you should be in favor of taxing yourself. Nobody wants to get taxed. You want to keep as much money as possible in your pocket so you can spend it. You can put it away. You know, the more money we have, the more money is spent. It's like tourism, like Seaside Heights, huge economic engine for Ocean County, Toms River, and the state of New Jersey. If people had more money, they would be here more often. The ones that don't have enough money because of taxation and all, they're not coming to spend. There's no discretional income. And the thing with fair share, pay your fair share. What is the fair share? Is it fair that we penalize these people who are successful? Simple as that. No, you wouldn't want to be penalized because you're middle class. You took the risk 10, 15 years ago of going into a mortgage, buying a home, breaking your butt to take care of the home, to improve upon the home, and hopefully you bought it at the right time, and now maybe you bought a couple of homes. You went out and took that risk. You ran the risk of going bankrupt, ruining everything, but it worked out for you. You shouldn't be penalized that. And I tell you something, these people who are millionaires, they don't have to be in New Jersey. I know a lot of people, and actually it just dawned on me recently why I could not get in touch with one guy until a certain amount of time has expired. I think you had to be out of the state for a certain amount of days. Remember Derek Jeter, shortstop of the Yankees? He got in trouble in New York because he was a Florida resident, but he wasn't in Florida enough days. In this day and age, it is easy to manage your business or stay out of New Jersey, personally, because of the income tax and the various taxes here in New Jersey, and have your subordinates run the business, and you can do it through the technology. Raising taxes on the millionaires to help others is never right. There's Robin Hooding it is not going to work in New Jersey. We need real, strong, get your house in order ideas. Not even ideas. We need to put this into play on how to get control of the finances for the state of New Jersey. And that always seems to be an issue. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Toms River Show. I'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back. You're watching the Toms River Show. Pat O'Neill, you're here. So let me go through this. Maybe what we need is a flat tax. Remember, was it Forbes? Steve Forbes he was talking about? Maybe that's it. There's smarter people out there than me. But staying in the vein of taxation, it is coming down to a standoff. Actually, we may have reached that already with Governor Murphy and State Senators Steve and Sweeney. And you're seeing the camp starting to form. And really, it's Team Murphy, who, since he's been governor, there's always another tax, raising a tax, proposing a tax, so we can fund this, or we can fund that, or fund this, whatever the case may be. And what's going to hurt Governor Murphy in the long run is he is going to definitely be associated with tax. Because every time we hear Murphy, it's always about another tax. And Sweeney, Team Sweeney on the other side, all you hear from Sweeney is getting control of the budget, cutting expenses, cutting benefits, trying to control property taxes as his number one issue. Sweeney and Murphy on different sides of the operation of the state, the expenses of the state, and the budget of the state. Murphy, he's talking about raising taxes almost on a daily basis, and I'm telling you, that can't help him when he goes for re-election. Whether it's millionaires tax, a pot tax, e-cigarettes, painkillers, as I spoke before. Then you got Sweeney. He's running around the state doing town hall meetings where he's talking about cutting New Jersey government expenses. He's looking at benefit packages, going from the platinum to the gold. He's looking at cutting pensions. I shouldn't say cutting pensions, changing the pension to 401k, the C's, those things. He's talking about looking at the school expenses, the biggest part of your property taxes. He's looking at that, can we consolidate the 590 school districts in New Jersey into a controllable amount? He's talking about that. He's talking about shared services. These are how the split, and this is the Dems splitting themselves within New Jersey here. And it makes you wonder, how is this going to be settled? How are you going to come to a meeting of the mind when the Senate president, and listen, the Coughlin in the Assembly, he's not too different on this either. They are so far apart in how this state should be run. Now, it really, to me, it's setting up Sweeney for 2021. For the next governor's race. And there are many people in the Democratic organization that believe if there is a Democratic president in 2020, if Trump isn't successful, and no matter what it is, a re-election, impeachment, whatever the case may be, Murphy may be tabbed to run the Treasury Department, leaving it wide open for Sweeney. But if that doesn't happen, or he isn't pegged, because I don't know, if it's Biden or Sanders or Cory Booker or whoever. I think there's 23 people running on the Democratic side. So you got a lot of shaking out to do. Tabs Murphy. Now, if not, then there becomes one hell of a political battle between Murphy and Sweeney. And I don't see these two coming to a meeting of the mind. They are polar opposites now. Well, like I said, and one of the things that's going to hurt Murphy, pretty smart. Listen, people say he wants to tax everybody. He's a successful guy. He's a guy that's successful. He's running ads right now. About millionaires like him should pay more. Again, I have a problem with class warfare, but, and I'm not the smartest guy in the room. But I do recall your last three Democratic governors. You remember Florio, McGreevey, Corzine. Now, McGreevey, he resigned, and Cody took over, but Cody didn't run. Did Cody? No, I don't think Cody ran. No, Cody stepped aside for Corzine. And then Corzine. Here's something very interesting. None of them were reelected. They were all one and done. Whether it was Corzine, Cody, Florio, of course, Jim Florio, John Corzine, they were one and done. And they ushered in Republican governors who both were elected in 2 terms, Whitman and Governor Christie. And when Murphy was elected, he's a progressive guy. So, well, we need to fund this, we need to fund that, we need funding for pre-K, we need funding for schools, we need funding for everything. The problem is, New Jersey's already the highest tax state in the United States. People didn't want to hear that, but in the beginning, but 2 years later, we don't want to hear that. And Sweeney is seizing this. He sees this. He's going to be the guy that's going to come in, at least that's how he wants to present himself, as the guy who is going to cut your taxes, your property taxes. And he has plans. No smoke and mirrors. This is what he is presenting to do. And it's going to be interesting. And then on the background of that, you also have George Norcross. If you don't know George Norcross, South Jersey guy, he is a political power broker. Never been elected. His brother has been. He's a congressman. But George Norcross is what I call the smartest guy in the room. And there's an issue in Camden. It's where we have a Norcross-Murphy feud. And he's feuding with Sweeney, and Norcross and Sweeney are pretty tight. What happened in Camden? Now, you and I know Camden. You don't want to be there. But I tell you, the only break, now I don't know all the details of what happened in Camden with the property or tax breaks and developmental tax breaks. One of my divas, one of our show hosts here in Hudson Media Ready to Roll Studio, Ray Lesniak, is the guy that created the department that gave out these tax breaks for distressed cities. In Camden, as you realize and well know, was distressed for a long time. There is a renaissance going on in Camden. And a lot has to do with this guy, Norcross. Now, there is talk that, they took advantage of the state of New Jersey. They're saying, there's allegations that, he lined his pockets. This guy's pretty wealthy. Again, I'm just looking at face value. There's a ton of development and companies moving to Camden. When companies move there, jobs are created. For that matter, the Norcross guys, I understand it, brought in his people and his companies into Camden. I don't see how Murphy wins between the face-off with Steve Sweeney, who's been in Trenton forever. He knows everybody, smart guy, and Norcross, one of the smartest guys in the room, versus Murphy. So it is interesting to see how this is all going to play out. I don't know how this looks when we get into 2021, but it's almost as if it's by design. We're moving to get Steve Sweeney elected as governor. And I don't know if Murphy survives going head-to-head with Sweeney, because guy knows his politics, and throw in the back factor of George Norcross, who really knows some politics. So it will be interesting to watch how this all breaks down. All right, we're watching the Toms River Show. Aren't we all watching it? Yes, we are. I'm going to break for commercial. You're watching the Toms River Show. I'll be right back.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst. Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
We're back. You're watching the Toms River Show. Pat O'Neill here. Not doing a lot of Toms River today because I don't know what came out of that live debate yet. I'm taping this a couple of days before the live debate. Let's do some quick hits here. Legalizing marijuana is now going to a referendum. We're all going to get the vote on it. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. So depending on what poll you read or hear about, it's kind of like 50-50 here. Now, the reason it's going referendum instead of doing it in the legislatively, is because we couldn't get the votes. Sweeney couldn't get them, Murphy couldn't get them, because people wanted things. And a lot of horse trading goes on. Now, what's moving forward now, outside of the legalization of marijuana, is boosting boosting medical marijuana and looking at the expungement. Now, those were two keys that we couldn't get everybody on board with to go legalizing it. Now, you take those two aspects off the table, there was no way you were going to get legalized marijuana. Now we're going to get the medical marijuana. That'll be expanded, and some shape or form now of expungement. Now, since legalizing it is going to go to the referendum, I doubt that there's going to be another question saying, do you want to vote to expunge anybody who would bust up a pot? And a lot of the people they're going to expunge are huge amounts of marijuana, like 5 pounds of marijuana or 10 pounds, something like that. It was a lot of marijuana. So we're going to get the vote on it, but it's just going to be bare bones legalization. By then, we'll probably have some sort of an expungement, and we'll expand the medical marijuana. My question for New Jersey is, how do we go about now explaining to the people that we'll bust or possibly lock up for having marijuana or smoking marijuana? Now, we're talking about legalizing this. We're approving medical marijuana, expanding it, and expungement, but yet we're still out there enforcing it. And keep in mind, it's still a federal crime. There's a lot of details that need to be worked out. Now, last week, we did a show at the Seaside Heights, leads the state in DUIs per mile, square mile. You know, it happens during those 4 or 5 months of the season. There's another statistic that came out, parking tickets. What municipality do you think gives out the most parking tickets per square mile in the state of New Jersey? You thought you'd see Seaside Heights, right? You'd be wrong. Asbury Park. Number 2 is Seaside Heights. Asbury Park is number 1, which I understand Seaside Heights. They only have so much time to handle their municipal budget. They got those 4 or 5 tourism months where, there is no, meter person that's going to see that meter just expired and they're not going to give you a ticket, give you a little grace period. No, they're giving you a ticket. This is how they get their budget. Asbury Park is kind of a year-round municipality. Not kind of, it is. It's a year-round municipality. It's almost like, I'm a Jersey City guy. It's almost like Jersey City with a boardwalk. Once you get off the boardwalk, there's a whole city out there. And there's year-round populations, unlike Seaside Heights. So it's amazing to me that Asbury Park is number 1 in parking tickets. At Seaside Heights, it didn't surprise me at all. I would have guessed Seaside Heights number 1, but it finished number 2. It came from New York City. But it's the conversations going on in Jersey City. Why would I bring up conversations going on in Jersey City to Toms River? Because what happens in Jersey City will eventually funnel down, trickle down, whatever you want to call it, to Toms River. Toms River is just a smaller Jersey City. Same issues. Everything's pretty much the same. Dealing with the same things, overdevelopment, abatements, and all that stuff. And Jersey City is going through a point now where they've revamped all their abatements. Development is going to start to slow up in Jersey City. And the people that complained about Jersey City and their abatements, they're giving abatements. Now we got a school budget situation that Mayor Fulop is really controlled by the School Board of Education in the state of New Jersey. Ran the school system for like almost 30 years. Fulop, he's going to do all he can. He's put a payroll tax in there, and people are looking for Mayor Fulop to do more. And people are complaining about those abatements that caused the gap in the school funding budget. Those same people who are complaining about that are the ones whose property values have skyrocketed over the last 20 years. There are homes that you could have bought 20 years ago in the Heights or in downtown, $100,000, $150,000. Those homes are worth $600,000-$700,000. Property is so hot in Jersey City. I don't know if it will remain that way. So hot in Jersey City. There are developers who will buy 2 and 3 family homes for, say, $700,000, bulldoze it, and build a new home. So they got $700,000, demoed it, and built a new house, which costs, somewhere they tell me around $220,000, and they're selling these homes. What's being talked about in Jersey City, and what made Jersey City hot property, is people coming from New York. They were fleeing New York City, the 5 boroughs. It became too expensive, too crowded, too congested, hard to get around. They moved to Jersey City. So now, what do they do in Jersey City? Well, now they want dedicated bus lanes. Mayor Fulop's talking about a bus Uber system. I got to talk to Mayor Fulop a little about that. I'm not getting my head around it. It'll be a bus system without routes. They just go wherever somebody called. It's kind of like Uber bus service. People are talking about, you need dedicated bus lanes in Jersey City. Well, our streets are too narrow for that. And that's not going to work. We need protected bike lanes. We need speed. I just seen this tweet yesterday. We need speed and red light cameras. Who has ever asked for that? E-scooters are now legal in Jersey City, and Hoboken's doing a big test on them. Some of these e-scooters are the size of a Vespa, and you don't need a driver's license for them. What's amazing to me, these people fled New York City, and they come to Jersey City, and within a year, 2 years they're there, they want to start recreating New York City. Everything they fled, they want to have in Jersey City. It's just amazing. Instead of assimilating themselves to Jersey City, they want to change Jersey City. All right, we're out of time. You watch the Toms River Show. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you during the week. Good night.